All right. What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Dave's R&R with your host, Dave. And this is going to be a music-centric episode. Today's kind of been a big day in the music festival world with one big announcement. So we're going to go over Boston Calling and Bonnaroo today. So today has been a big day for festival announcements, and it started with Boston Calling this morning. Not like the most prestigious festival out there, not the big three, which is, I think, Bonnaroo, Coachella, Lollapalooza. You could even categorize like EDC and Electric Force in there. Boston Calling usually brings a solid lineup, and this year they brought the heat. I must say, they started off today with the announcement for their 2023 lineup on Memorial Day weekend. The headliners are awesome here. We've got the Lumineers, we've got Paramore, we've got Queens of the Stone Age, some solid names in the undercard like the Flamin' Lips, Bleachers, Mount Joy, some very solid names there, but I think the big thing that stuck out to everybody here was the Foo Fighters being announced for their lineup, which was huge news and kind of has snowballed for the rest of the day. The Foo Fighters, as we know, their drummer passed away last year, and they were going to go on a hiatus. They took their tour off last year, which is completely understandable after him being such a big part of the band. They tweeted out just a few days ago, I believe it was New Year's Eve, that there were things to come this year and to stay tuned. And this seems to be the start of it. It looks like the Foo Fighters are going to be touring. They haven't announced if they have a full-time replacement drummer yet, or just a drummer for the tour, or what's going on. But we do now know the Foo Fighters will be active this year, with Boston Calling being the first name to announce them this year on their lineup. And this leads to the question, are they going to do like a huge tour, or are they just going to do festivals? And personally, I think they're going to do a full tour with the festivals mixed in there. Their last tour was on its way to selling out. The show in Charlotte was all lawn passes sold out. I think if they have a bunch of good openers, they're definitely a big enough name to carry a stadium tour. So keep an eye out for a potential Foo Fighters stadium tour announcement this year. Now, a little bit after the Boston Calling announcement, we got one of the big threes. Coachella's been delayed on their lineup announcement. Lollapalooza has still a while to go since they're later in the year compared to the other festivals. We got our Bonnaroo announcement, and Bonnaroo holds a place near and dear to my heart. I've gone to 4 Bonnaroos over the course of my lifetime, and it has some of my best memories as concert and festival going, from staying up to sunrise for all the different sets and shotgun and under the arch with the sun rising, to camping out and having fun tailgates in the morning before all the afternoon sets. Bonnaroo is a great experience, and if you are looking to go to a festival, it's definitely one to check out. Bonnaroo, they announced their lineup today, and I must say it is one of the better lineups I have seen in the history of Bonnaroo lineups lately. They got Foo Fighters as well, so this confirms what we thought after the Boston Calling announcement, that Foo Fighters are going to be a lot of different places this year. For Bonnaroo, Foo Fighters are playing on Sunday, so they'll be closing out the festival, which makes the most sense. But we'll backtrack to that and go on a day-by-day breakdown, starting with Thursday. We did just have some breaking news. As I'm recording this, the Coachella lineup has dropped. I'll discuss that at the end of the episode, but we'll keep rolling with Bonnaroo for now, and then we will hit Coachella. That's breaking news. That shows you what time I'm recording at, but we just got the Coachella lineup announcement after being delayed. So for Bonnaroo here, we will start with Thursday. Zed's Dead is the big headliner on Thursday. Thursday is usually a little bit lower of a day. A lot of people are showing up to the festival that day. You'll get a lot of names you don't necessarily know on the lineup if you're not like in tune as much or as deep into music as others. A lot of mocks had Liquid Stranger as the top name for the day, so it's definitely good to have Zed's Dead on there to bring in a bigger name, since Zed's Dead's one of the bigger names in EDM, I would say. That'll lead us into Friday, which has our hip-hop headliner, Kendrick Lamar, which I expect him to be at like Lollapalooza as well. He had a big tour last year, a big album that's had a lot of critical success. So Kendrick takes the headlining spot, and Friday overall is a great day at the festival as well. The one thing I do find funny is they have Baby Keem as the second highest name on Friday, just below Kendrick. I almost feel like that's in Kendrick's contract right now since he's been the Baby Keem guy since day one. He's pretty much brought him into the spotlight. He opened for Kendrick on the last tour. Baby Keem is arguably one of the biggest names to come into hip hop this past year, but he definitely isn't that popular to have the second highest spot. But that's here nor there. Lineup placement's never the end of the world. I just thought that was kind of funny. We have a bunch of great names on Friday. The biggest EDM name is Grizz, and you can't go wrong with the Grizz set. You got the EDM mixed with the saxophone. One of the pioneers out there. I love some Grizz on the lineup. You have Portugal the Man High as well, who I saw them open at Lollapalooza a couple sets before Eminem a while ago. Probably was want to say it was 2014 or so, and they've just gotten bigger ever since, especially with Feel It Still. So it's cool to see them as high on the lineup. And one of the funny names, I just love seeing this on Friday because Bonnaroo always pulls out some of the acts that you don't necessarily see everywhere else, is 3-6 Mafia. That's such a throwback. I didn't even know they were going to still tour together. That's such a get for Bonnaroo. I love seeing 3-6 Mafia on the lineup. You've got some more rock with AFI on there. Total throwback to the Guitar Hero days. And some more EDM. You've got Shaq, a.k.a. Diesel, on the lineup, and a great undercard there as well. So look for Friday to be a fun day for anybody that's at the festival. Saturday is another great day as well. The undercard is very solid. You've got bands like Young Gravy and Bob Moses. I know those are two opposite ends of the spectrum, but Bonnaroo brings in a lot of different genres into the festival, which is one of the big things I love about it. You've got Lil Nas X, who's huge. You've got Louis the Child, who low-key puts on a great EDM set. You've got My Morning Jacket, which everybody that goes to Bonnaroo loves. They're a great jam band. Sheryl Crow, Rainbow Kitten, surprised so many big names there. The only thing about Saturday I don't necessarily like as much as Odessa, and that's not a knock on them. They are a great name. They put on a good set. Lots of great songs. I just feel like they're a little played out at this point in the festival world. They've been headliners just about everywhere at this point. So compared to the other names, the Foo Fighters and Kendrick, I just feel like that one's a little weaker. But nonetheless, Saturday is great. And you have Korn on there as well, who would have ever thought you would see Korn at Bonnaroo? I think a big thing is, that Woodstock Festival that became pretty popular over this last year. They showed a lot of that Korn set. So I think it's put them back in the spotlight some, so that should be a fun set on Saturday. And then we'll wrap up with Sunday, where I already discussed Foo Fighters are closing out the festival. You've got Paramore as the sub-headliner making their return to Bonnaroo. They put on a great set the last time there. You have the EDM headliner Alesso, great name there. Some other good names on the line like Hippocampus, Humphrey McGee's is such a good get. Even some smaller ones like Peach Pit, Franz Hernandez, MK. You've got some great names towards the bottom of that lineup. So overall, I think Bonnaroo knocked it out of the park this year. It's an A in my book for their lineup. And I'm sure anyone that goes, it'll be such a good time this year. Alright, and that is our talk for Bonnaroo as the lineup this year. Foo Fighters since then have also been announced on the rock festival Sonic Temple Fest. If you love rock, you're going to love that lineup. That one's late May as well, so check it out. You've got like Tool, Godsmack, Avenged Sevenfold, Queens of the Stone Age again there, which is one of those names I always forget about, but they're on Boston Con as well. But when they pop up, it's like, man, they would be awesome to see live. Kiss, Rob Zombie, Foo Fighters, and a great undercard there at Sonic Temple. I won't go into much detail about that one because, like I said, we have some breaking news. The Coachella lineup just dropped. You'll be hearing this podcast later tonight, but this announcement just came out a few minutes ago as I'm recording it. It got delayed. We've been waiting for it. It is here. And I think just, scanning this initially, this is my first scan by right now. Coachella has definitely brought the heat. Let's start with Friday. You've got Bad Bunny headlining, the biggest name out there right now, the most streamed artist of Spotify in 2022, a pop icon. He's winning lots of awards across the board. You knew Coachella was going to bring in Bad Bunny whenever they got the shot, so that makes sense as a headliner. And right below them, such a great get, Gorillaz. I mean, they've done it for so long now. They've had such great album after album. They had a tour, and they're at Coachella sub-headline, and that would be such a fun day if those two don't conflict. And I don't think Coachella would do that. I think Gorillaz will lead into Bad Bunny on the main stage. Then you've got some more big names right out the gate. The Chemical Brothers, K. Janja. You've got Metro Boomin, who I'm sure will have a bunch of guests at his DJ set. You've got Pusha T. You've got Two Friends, which I love personally. For the punk people, you've got Youngblood. There's so many great names. You've got Mala down there. I just love that Friday. That'll be a fun day. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to Coachella, but I just always love looking at the lineup because they always have such a stacked poster when you just look at it. It's always a dream to go there. Maybe one day. Not really counting on it, but love some Coachella lineup talk. On Saturday, you've got Blackpink as the headliner, which the rumor was Blackpink was the one holding up the lineup. I don't know too much of their music, but I know it's big right now. So along with Bad Bunny, another pop sensation, makes sense to be headlining. You've got Eric Price presenting his Holo set, which will be probably the best EDM set of the weekend. That one's going to kill it. You've got Suicide Boys, you've got The Kid Lore, you've got Charlie XCX here, a very solid card. A great undercard here as well. Earth Gang's on there. Saturday's a little weaker than Friday, just over my initial look. But overall, not a bad day there as well. And that leads us into Sunday with Frank Ocean headlining the festival. I think the big question is, will he actually show up? He's been one of the ones more known to cancel sets. Coachella has to have something in that clause there. For all we know, he could have been the one holding it up just because it's always difficult to get Frank. But Frank Ocean's an icon. He's had big hits. He always gets talked about. You never know if his music's actually going to drop or not. If he does show up to Coachella, which I think he will if they're risking putting him in the headlining spot, I think he's going to deliver a great set. You've got Bjork there, which you don't usually see too much of. The big EDM name on the day, Porter Robinson's, which probably one of the must-see EDM sets ever. Anytime you get a chance to see Porter Robinson, you have to take it. Probably one of my favorite EDM artists and EDM sets. Right after him, you have Fisher, which is crazy how much he's climbed the lineup over the time. You've got Chris Lake, you've got a Boogie, you've got Lato, which is, a big uprising pop star. You've got Ray Shermerd, who seems to be making a comeback now that they had the New Year's special with Miley. And at the bottom of the lineup, it doesn't tell you what day he will be. I'm assuming it's going to be Sunday just based off placement, but we don't know yet. Returning to the desert, Calvin Harris, which is absolutely as huge as it gets. So rare to see Calvin Harris on any festival lineup in America. He's overseas a good amount. I know when he's in America, it's generally playing in Vegas. But having Calvin Harris on the lineup, how much he's done with his career, transitioning from, the party pop EDM to a little bit of the more funkadelic kind of stuff, he's been such a revolutionary in the EDM game. One of the biggest names you can get out there. So Calvin Harris making his return to the desert as well. That's awesome. The Coachella lineup compared to the Bonnaroo lineup, off my first initial look at both of them, I think Coachella has some of the bigger names, but Bonnaroo is more rounded out. Coachella's got a lot of great names at the top. Bonnaroo's more deep in their lineup. Both lineups are excellent, though. Coachella gets an A for me as well. I think it's a great year for music festivals. If you haven't been to one, I definitely recommend going to one. Whether you're on the West Coast and go to Coachella, you're in the South, you can go to Bonnaroo, you're in Chicago, Lollapalooza, or if you want to travel to one. Festivals are always the best time. And I always bring this up in debates in festivals versus concerts. Festivals, yeah, you're paying a lot more money out of pocket, but you get to see a lot more artists. You get a lot of bang for your buck there. Yeah, tickets are $300, $400 plus, but really you get to pick and choose who you see each day. Your seats kind of depend on when you want to get there. If you want front row for an artist, you get there early, that's your spot. And especially for a band like Foo Fighters, if you're up front, you're paying $300-$400 at least to get up front for them. I remember my first Lollapalooza, we were up front and center for Outkast. You paid $300 some for the ticket at the time, and man, front row for Outkast probably would have been a lot more than that at just their concert. And it's a great experience as well, so if you get to go to one of them, definitely Dude, their lineups are outstanding this year. It looks like 2023. I know some festival snobs might not like lineups as much just because sometimes the indie names don't get as high on the list, or there are not as many indie names, but overall, in the eyes of myself, who I'd say I have a decent taste in music, even higher than decent, I kind of try to keep on the radar of everything as much as possible. I love these lineups, and don't be surprised a couple of these undercard acts become big names by the end of the year. And that's it for my podcast today. I hope you like this festival slash music centric episode. If you do, let me know. I'm always trying to rant and ramble and review different things here. And I just want to talk festivals today, so that's this episode. Stay tuned for more to come. On social media, Twitter and Instagram, Dave's R&R. We've been running Wrestling Wednesdays lately. Been trying to tweet and Instagram a little more. Going to try to review a little more. Going to try to rate a little more. Just keep it going. Check out my serialized page if you want more TV ratings and TV episode ratings. I've got Letterboxd for movies if you care about my ratings over there. If you don't, that's cool. You don't have to follow. But if you're a little interested, definitely give me a follow. Comment, like, subscribe, download, however you listen. Just keep on supporting. I appreciate it so much. And have a great week.